President Yoon Suk-yeol embarked on a three-nation tour to Central Asia, namely Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan today. During his meetings with the leaders of these resource-rich nations, he aims to explore opportunities for expanding bilateral cooperation in supply chains, key minerals, and other sectors. His visit comes at a time when Central Asia is gaining increased strategic and geopolitical importance, particularly since the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war. And today's Within the Frame, we delve into the burgeoning Korea-Central Asia partnerships, the significance of President Yoon's trip, and Korea's strategies to engage Central Asian nations amid intense global competition. For some expert insights, former ambassador to the Republic of Kazakhstan, Baik Joo-hyeon, joins us in the studio. It's a great pleasure to have you with us today.
Nice to meet you.
All right, first, tell us about the significance of President Yoon's trip, the significance the trip holds to the administration's goal of turning South Korea into a global pivotal state.
I think President Yoon Suk-yeol's state visit to these three countries is being done in timely manner because to strengthen cooperation with Central Asian countries, which are rapidly emerging as a new market connecting Europe and Asia due to the war in Ukraine. Our government will propose the K-Silk Road initiative. This is the third regional strategy. First was the Indo-Pacific strategy, and second was Korea-ASEAN Solidarity Initiative. And Central Asian countries are key partners in our Eurasian policy. It is home to 300,000 Koreans and is also main activity center of Korean businessmen since 1990, when we established diplomatic relations with then Soviet Union.
So the K-Silk Road Initiative is only Korea's third regional initiative, which really speaks about its significance, right? And Korea is planning to hold a summit with 5 Central Asian countries next year as well, which is expected to further help South Korea inch closer towards its goal of becoming a global pivotal state. Now, as you mentioned, Central Asia is gaining more strategic importance on the global stage. Tell us more about its geographical as well as geopolitical significance.
At first, since the demise of Soviet Union, there appear 15 new countries, 15 new republics. And with these 5 Central Asian countries are considered as not the main player of the international politics or international economics or in security terms. But after the outbreak of war in Ukraine, this region became spotlighted in international politics, security, and economics. Even today, the logistics between Asia and Europe, which was done usually through Russia, is being done through a so-called middle corridor. That means through Central Asian countries and Caucasian countries and to Turkey and other Southern European countries. Of course, it costs a little bit more than through Russian territory. But after the outbreak of war, there is a kind of diverse restrictions on Russian activities, including sanctions and embargo, etc. So the Central Asia becomes one of the most hottest spot in the world politics and economically also. This time, President Yoon Suk-yeol will make a very comprehensive proposal, so-called K-Silk Road Cooperation Initiative. It presents a vision of Korea and Central Asia together for freedom, peace, and prosperity. We plan to cooperate in minerals for electric vehicles and AI semiconductor and mobility, and help Central Asian countries industrialize through ODA cooperation. Central Asian countries are also expected to respond positively to this K-Silk Road initiative, because Central Asian countries are also trying to promote economic development by taking advantage of this situation, which was made by the war. So in that sense, this visit will give impetus to already existing cooperative relations between Korea and 5 Central Asian countries.
So it sounds like various sanctions on Russia has helped Korea establish direct links, more direct links to Central Asian countries. And as you mentioned, Central Asia has become a strategic point connecting Europe and Asia with its vast, rich natural resources, as well as geographical importance. And so major regional players like the US, China and Russia, they're all vying to boost ties with Central Asian nations for various reasons. Now, give us a bird's eye view of the past and present of Korea's diplomatic relations with Central Asian nations.
We must think about the early 1990s when there was demise of the Soviet Union in 1991. Then 15 new independent countries appeared in the international politics, including Russian Federation and other countries. But we paid a lot of attention to Central Asian countries because this region is very historically very complicated region. Why? The Koreans who resided in far east of Soviet Union, now the Russian Federation, was forcibly relocated to Central Asian countries by Stalin. And now, up to now, more than 300,000 Korean origins are living in these areas, and about 150,000 Korean origins are still living in Russian Federation. That is the reason why we very quickly established diplomatic relations with Central Asian countries. And since then, we enhanced the level of cooperation with those countries. One of the factors is Korea people, but the other thing is linguistically, we are also very closely related with Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and as you may know that there is 29 different countries who belongs to Altai group. That is one of the region. And the second stage is 2007, we established Korea Central Asia Cooperation Forum. And through this forum, we have discussed a lot of things. Knowledge sharing program of economic growth, and special economic zone, and agriculture, medical services, and energy cooperation, etc. Nowadays, we are also paying attention to the water management, which is very crucial after the flooding which comes from Altai region. And nowadays, we are considering these 3 nations as strategic partners. And there is a very high level relations, even though the period of official relations only 35 years. And almost every president of new government is visiting this area, and those political leaders are visiting Korea also. So this region is one of the most popular regions which exchange summit meeting each other.
Economic cooperation with Central Asian nations have been rapidly growing ever since Korea established diplomatic ties with the region in 1992. And last year, I hear that export to the region soared to a record high of over $5.6 billion. So it looks like we have a very promising road ahead. And we'll talk more about economic cooperation. But before that, Kazakhstan is a country that sought voluntary denuclearization and non-proliferation. Now, in your view, as the former ambassador to Kazakhstan, can the country's experience help in denuclearizing North Korea in any way, perhaps by providing some good examples?
I think we must think about why the Kazakhstan abandoned nuclear programs. The former President Nazarbayev has decided this initiative because there is two reasons. One is, without abandoning nuclear programs, they cannot induce any foreign investment to the newly independent country. And President Nazarbayev thinks that we are lacking national assets to develop our economy. So we must depend on foreign investment. For that case, after decision of abandoning nuclear programs, they invited Chevron from U.S. to invest into Tengiz oil field, and still now, up to now, they are operating, and it's a very profitable project, and it was the basis of nation building of Kazakhstan for the last 35 years. That is one thing. The second thing is, there was more than 500 times of nuclear test in Semipalatinsk, which is located on northeast of Kazakhstan, and no nuclear test was done in other areas of Soviet Union. That means only in Kazakhstan, in Semipalatinsk. Because of this fact, many Kazakhs fall ill and die, even including the relatives of President Nazarbayev. So for the health of people, I must abandon nuclear weapon program. So these two factors can apply for North Korea's case. If the North Korea will continue nuclear test in the small land of North Korea, then there will be a lot of casualties can come from this nuclear test. And the second thing is they cannot induce any foreign investment without abandoning nuclear programs. It is very clear. There are so many other factors, but I should stop here for this project.
Well, it's as you mentioned, many experts agree your argument that Kazakhstan's denuclearization provides a very good example of a successful exchange between nuclear weapons and economic development. But truth be told, the prospects for denuclearizing North Korea looks bleak for now, so perhaps we can keep the lesson from Kazakhstan for the future. President Yoon's trip to Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan will mainly focus on expanding economic cooperation. What particular areas are expected to be in the spotlight?
I do not know the details of discussions, but as I traveled these regions very often last year, I can guess that we will discuss the nuclear power plant construction in Kazakhstan, and also lithium and uranium development, and also mobility project with Kazakhstan, including Kia and Hyundai are already operating very efficiently in Kazakhstan. And for the Uzbekistan case, there is already a children's hospital which is functioning in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and also the KT is now establishing data center in Tashkent. For Turkmenistan case, there has been many petrochemical projects and rehabilitation of old factories, and it was very profitable for both sides. So this kind of projects will be discussed. And I think that at this moment, the Central Asian countries are focusing on how to join the bold wave of fourth industrial revolution. In the past, they were only a provider of raw materials for other countries, advanced countries. But they are thinking now the other way. That we should be part of this global supply chain, and we should be a right player in this process. So I think they want to be Central Asia be a prosperous hub for Eurasian continent. In the case of Kazakhstan, a very impressive thing is since the break of Ukraine war, President Tokayev designated as Deputy Prime Minister for Economic Cooperation to deal with inducement of investment from Korea and Germany, two very promising partners. And as a result, more than 400 foreign companies are now relocating to Kazakhstan instead of Russian Federations. So it was very successful. And they made a special investment attraction committee in the framework of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, not in the Ministry of Economic Cooperation. And they are sending messages to all embassies and consulate general that all-out effort is being made through overseas embassies, and this is making some concrete result.
Securing key minerals, of course, is expected to be one of President Yoon's key objectives, with many Central Asians being major producers of minerals like lithium, like you pointed out, lithium and natural gas, which are all critical for Korea's future growth engine. So those areas will definitely take center stage. But not only that, as you highlighted, perhaps President Yoon and his Central Asian counterparts will also discuss ways to help Central Asian nations engage in the fourth industrial revolution as players themselves as well. The ICT sector and the bio and health industries are also selected as some of the new areas of cooperation between Korea and Central Asia with great potential. How do you evaluate the current level of Korea-Central Asia cooperation in those areas, and what are your future prospects?
The KT, concretely, the KT is now building a data center in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and also Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan are now discussing the issue of upgrading their IT levels through collaboration with Korean companies. And for the case of medical service, the number of medical tourists flowing into Korea from Central Asian countries is very spectacular. It started about 10 years ago, less than 100 people. But nowadays, every year, 15,000 Kazakhs are visiting Korea. First, they were sent to Germany, and it was too much expensive. And then they were sent to Israel, but Israel provided a low-quality medical service. And now they are making choice of Korean prominent hospitals and health center as a destination. And this is increasing at least 20–30% every year. But at the same time, we are suggesting them that we will send our hospitals and doctors to those countries and to operate in that country to accommodate more patients and future patients. And the case of Uzbekistan is the children's hospital. Many children who are suffering from the disease, they can be treated in this hospital. And there is also a checkup center in Almaty. And at the period of Corona, our company has opened their branch office in Almaty. And they are continuing to cooperate in those areas with the local government and local business people. And Central Asian countries are making efforts to improve the level of medical technology through Korea's ODA program. But Kazakhstan is not anymore the recipient country of ODA. They are wealthier than their level. And nowadays, not only the treatment of a patient, but also prevent infectious disease is very important. And our institution is now doing this kind of activity with Uzbekistan authority.
The three Central Asian countries President Yoon will visit, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan, are home to some 300,000 Koryo people, or ethnic Koreans in Central Asia. Now, you've mentioned briefly about this, but what importance do they hold, and how can their roles be further expanded?
Currently, we are seeing that more than 300,000 Koreans are living in Central Asian area, but they were involuntary immigrants. They were forcibly relocated from maritime province of the Soviet Union, and this was not only for Koreans, but other minority groups also, for Germans and for Armenians, for Jewish people. But they were relocated to Central Asian countries, but it was not formally and decent immigration, but they were thrown from the train to the street. So they couldn't, maybe 20–30% has died on the spot, or they suffered from the cold and they could not leave. But this Koryo people or Korean, they will play a significant role in the process of strengthening economic cooperation and also cultural cooperation between the countries. And we must remember that they were regarded and admired and respected by the local government even before diplomatic relations, because of their diligence and sincerity. So the political leaders of those countries are saying that we are not saying good things about Korean people because we have diplomatic relations. They were naturally that kind of people. So this 300,000 will be a very solid bridge between Korea and Central Asian countries, and they will play a very positive role in that sense. I must say that in the case of Germany, which was shared by my German colleague, that they have 1.5 million Germans in Kazakhstan, and they were repatriated to Germany with their law. But he said, with this kind of not a desirable policy, they lost the bridge between Germany and Kazakhstan. So with President Yoon Suk-yeol's visit, the local Koreans are now expecting the chance of cooperation between their mother country and their second mother country and their own home.
All right, we have a few more grounds to cover, but due to time limit, we're going to have to let you go. Thank you so much, Ambassador Baik, for coming in today and sharing your valuable insights.
Thank you so much.
And that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with more same time tomorrow. See you then.